Y'all don't understand. Like, I've been trying to get the camera right for the longest. Finally got it right. And something I normally don't do is record on a Monday, the day that we typically drop. But you know, we have, last week was crazy with real estate, meetings, balancing family stuff. The thing is though, we do what we need to do. And that's that. And the episode gonna drop today. Okay? So it is what it is. And I can say this week, I admitted, like, there was days where my energy was really low and I just was like, you know, as long as we get it out on Monday, we're perfectly fine. But see, that is the beauty of being the entrepreneur, being the podcaster. It's like you have some lenience to a certain extent. It's just, for me, I made the commitment to come on here every Monday and have it for you guys. And whether you get it Monday at 12 a.m. or whether you get it Monday at 2 p.m., it's coming out on Monday. Because that's the commitment I made to me. So yeah, we just gonna keep it moving and keep it P and keep it pushing. Okay? Okay. All right, so building microphone. Nope, I don't want your building microphone. I want my mic. So yeah. Oh my goodness. So yesterday I talked to y'all about it. I was I was at the yard. I was in the mud. I was in the dirt. And it wasn't that bad. Do I like pulling up plants and replanting plants? No, not really. And we went with the whole cactus vibe. So that was super cool. And I can't wait to see what the finishing product. And if you want to see the finishing product, I'm gonna definitely post it on our Instagram, so you can check it out. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to reload the app that records the podcast because it's not finding my mic. Okay, there we go. Outline, check. Books, check. Oh, I wrote the wrong page number for that. And chapter 15, 16. Today is going to be a beautiful day. I believe that. I believe that. All right. So let's go. I've been up since probably like 3:30. Just trying to get situated. And I'm in my office and I'm looking at it. I have paper everywhere and I don't like a cluttered space. So I really need to get that executed today. And it sounds like horrible. Some people be like, girl, this ain't nothing. I don't like it. I don't like a little bit of clutter. I want it gone. I don't like living in it at all, whether it's a little bit or a lot. Okay, let's get into it. What up, crew? What's good? It's your girl Sade, checking in another episode of the Crew Book Club podcast. As always, I'm ecstatic to be here. First, before we get into the episode, I want to acknowledge a partnership that we have here with BetterHelp. It's a special offer for the Crew Book Club podcast. You get 10% off your first month of professional therapy. I recommend this to everyone I know. As soon as I hear somebody, oh, I'm thinking about doing therapy, I'm like, here you go. Not because I'm partnering with them, but because I actually use them. I've used them in the past, and I treat therapy like an oil change, where it's just like I'm constantly going every few months to kind of revamp and to rethink what I'm going to help process, because there's different levels every time you get to a new level, and recognizing when I'm feeling like I'm about to shut down in one particular area. I'm like, I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm getting unorganized in my thoughts. I need to be back in therapy. And then last week, I had a close person of mine was just like, oh my gosh, I'm having such a hard time getting to therapy. I've constantly had to reschedule and cancel because work is taking over and I can't get to the side of town that my therapist is on. And I was like, girl, why are you doing all of that? BetterHelp.com/crew love. Like, literally, you could schedule it on your lunch break. Don't even have to leave your job. Sit at your, well, I don't recommend your desk, somewhere private, like in your car. You could be eating your lunch talking to your therapist. That's the convenience of BetterHelp. And that's one of the things I loved. I discovered them during the pandemic where we couldn't go anywhere. And then when I was going back to work, it was just me and my daughter all the time. And I was just like, where can I go? And I would literally hop in my car while she was in the house and do therapy in the car because I just needed to be in a private space. And my daughter knows it. She the kid who stick her fingers through the door and be trying to, hey, what are you doing? I'd be like, no, girl. And I feel like she be getting a glass and putting it to the excuse me, putting it to the door and listening to what I'm saying. That's how I be feeling. So yeah, super convenient. So check out betterhelp.com/crew love to get your 10% off your first month of therapy. They do take the HSA card as well, so you don't have to pay out of pocket necessarily. And also, they do have financial aid. Okay, so definitely check that out. Now, let's go ahead and get into who gonna check me, boo. God is. He is always checking us, and we deserve a good check. You hear me? This particular check comes from Psalms 25:5. It says, guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long. Okay? Any and everything we do in life comes from a place of service. Anything that is successful, it typically serves people in some form or fashion. From products to relationships, it's coming from a place, you should be coming from a place of service. As a realtor and a podcaster, often people's concerns with getting into the business always seems to be like this worry of, will I give people the right information? What if I get it wrong and mess up in selling a house incorrectly or putting a buyer in a horrible situation? I was one of those people. I would talk myself out of doing something because I was so worried and concerned of how, if I was knowledgeable enough to handle people in that facet of service. And so when I read this passage out of Prayers and Promise of a Woman on page 65 about guidance, it just really touched me, and I hope it touches you the same way to give you that confirmation. It says, God, how wonderful is it to follow you? I don't know. I don't have to know where I'm going or worry about leading anyone on the wrong path. There is such freedom in knowing that you know exactly where I need to go and you will do everything necessary to get me there. Help me follow you willingly so that anyone looking to me for direction will not miss you either. And I was just like, yes, that's what I leaned into as a woman of God, and what I'm encouraging you to lean into. Leaning into God, no matter what direction you're going, He's going to lead you to be able to lead His children first. Okay? So don't be going around worried and concerned whether you're leading one in the wrong path. Remember who your leader is, and He will definitely guide you. And that's where Psalms 25:5 comes in. Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are God, my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long. Okay? So I hope that encourage you to go out and do what you need to do, trusting that God will lead you to do the right thing by his children. Okay? So that was Who Gon Check Me Boo. God is. He is always checking us. And y'all, we can only get checked as if we are in his presence. Okay? Now, if you're new to the pod and you want to show some crew love, leave me the podcast 5-star reviews, share the episode, and follow us on social media anywhere at the Crew Book Club. Now listen, y'all can literally Google us, the Crew Book Club. You can literally type it in and you will see our YouTube, our Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. We're on Fanbase. So yes, follow all and subscribe, okay? You can also visit our website to see videos and things that we're doing at the crew. It's thecrewbookclub.com. Simple, easy to find, okay? So show me some crew love, all right? So we're going to get into chapter 15, Live for Productivity, and chapter 16, the 3 commitments and the 1 thing. Yes, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Hope I'm saying that right. Don't. Okay. I always say that. All right. So chapter 15, Live for Productivity. Yes. Okay. On page 156, the opening quote is literally, productivity isn't about being a workhorse, keeping busy, or burning the midnight oil. It's more about priorities, planning, and fiercely protecting your time. Reclaim your time. Okay. All right. So that was Margarita Tartakovsky. Please excuse me if I'm saying it wrong. But yes, she definitely had that dope quote. And it aligns with everything that I stand for. Priority, planning, and protecting my darn time. Okay. All right. On page 158, it hops into it as well. It says, the most successful people are the most productive people. Productive people get more done, achieve better results, and earn far more in their hours than the rest. They do so because they devote maximum time to being productive on their top priority, their 1 thing. They time block. Okay, time blocking is my best friend. They've connected the dots between working their time blocks consistently and the extraordinary results they seek. Another quote that they have on this page is by Francine J. It says, my goal is no longer to get more done, but rather to have less to do. It is okay if you finish your day at 2 o'clock if you have been productive with the 1 thing and the priority that's going to get you extraordinary results. A lot of times we're doing a whole bunch of things that really don't equate. And then by the end of the day, you're going to sleep concerned. Did I do the things I was supposed to do? Or not feeling like you had a successful day because you ran around doing the could do things instead of the should do things. Okay? So let's deep dive more into this, okay? On page 159, it talks about time blocking and boundaries. And you know, y'all, those are my biggest friends of getting things done. Time blocking and the boundaries for people to respect those time blocks, okay? It says here, time blocking on page 159, time blocking is a very results-oriented way of viewing and using time. It's a way of making sure that what has to be done gets done. Time blocking harnesses your energy and centers it on your most important work. It's productivity's greatest power tool. The drill. I was trying to do a drill sound. See, this is when I can't wait to have like an engineer to put little sounds in there. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, because my power tool sound was not here. No, that ain't work. Anyway, the thing is though, unfortunately, if you're like most individuals, our typical day might look something like this figure, 27. And for my listeners, it's a circle and it's like 25, not even 25%. That look like what? 15% of the time people typically spend on their 1 thing, and then they do everything else instead of spending more time on their 1 thing than everything else. So a productive day will be spending at least 50% of your time doing your one thing. Okay? And then the everything else. When I was hosting the event with the Jacksonville Woman Owner Suite on February 18th, we did a exercise where I had the ladies write down their to-do list. And a lot of people had things for themselves, and then we had a few people who had things like laundry. And I'm like, that's the least of what you should be concerned about. Yes, laundry is important. You need clothes to wear. At the same time, if that's your number one priority today is to get laundry done, we need to reevaluate your list of things that are taking priority of your life. And then you're wondering why 6 weeks later you haven't accomplished anything towards your goal because laundry is the first thing on your to-do list. No, your first things needs to be the thing that's going to get you to extraordinary results, and you need to at least spend 4 hours a day on that to compound to get those extraordinary results in the future. Okay? It says, when you find yourself with less and less time to focus on what matters most, the most productive people day is dramatically different than everybody else, because if the disappointing appropriate results come from one activity, then you must give the one activity the disproportionate time. Each and every day, ask the focusing question for your block time. Today, what's the one thing I can do for my one thing such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Okay? And the thing about laundry for me, y'all, I outsource that bad boy. Because I know that's one thing that I cannot stand to do. I'm the person who will put all the clothes in the laundry. They will be washed and maybe dried. Maybe. Because sometimes it's been days where I put something in the washer. It done set up for like 2-3 days and I got to go back and rewash. So yeah, for me, I just choose to leverage that and outsource it. And I found someone who did mine like 99 cents a pound. Okay? So my time blocking with laundry is to take that bad boy, drop it off, and come back and pick it up, put it away for 15 minutes. It take me 15 minutes to put it away when I outsource. So if you know that's going to be an issue, try to find ways to outsource things so you can focus on the things that will exceed your extraordinary results. Okay? And listen to this. There's 3 things you need to know about time blocking, which they discuss on page 164. Time block your time off, time block your one thing, and time block your planning time. Okay? Let's talk about time block your time off. It says on page 164, by planning your time off in advance, you are in effect managing your work time around your downtime instead of the other way around. You're always letting everyone else know well in advance when you'll be out so they can plan accordingly. When you intend to be successful, you start protecting time to recharge and reward yourself. Resting is as important as working. Okay? To be selfish with our time, to recharge so we can pour into others is so important. We cannot pour from an empty cup. And I know you heard that before. And I put it in the context when I was speaking on the 18th to these group of women. Be careful of the people who call you selfish, because you have to think, are they calling you selfish because you're not doing what they want you to do when they want you to do it and how they want it to be done? Okay, so that's a boundary that has to be set. Also, on page 165, it says, after you've time blocked your time off, time block your one thing. Okay, time block your one thing. Yes, you read that right. Your most important work comes second. Why? Because you can't happily sustain success in your professional life if you neglect your personal, quote unquote, recreation time. Okay? The most productive people design their days around doing their one thing. Their most important appointment each day is with themselves, and they never miss it. Okay? I wake up early every day before everyone in my house to give myself time to me. I am my most important person in my life. I mean, of course, God first, but I'm saying like physically here on earth, my time is my most important time, my me time. And my me time involves being in relationship with Christ. And let me tell you another thing, a statistic that I wrote. The highly successful people typically is serving a higher power. My higher power is Jesus Christ. God and the Holy Spirit, okay? It's the Trinity. Let's be very clear, okay? And we never miss a morning together, okay? It says here on page 165 as well, the most productive people work on one event time. They don't quit until their one thing is done. The key to making this work is to block time as early in your day as possible. Give yourself 30 minutes to an hour to take care of morning priorities, then move to your one thing. My recommendation is to block 4 hours a day, and I had told you guys that. This isn't a typo. I repeat, 4 hours a day. Honestly, that's the minimum. You can do more, then do more. Then do it. If you could do more, then do it. Now listen, those 4 hours, mine some gets kind of interrupted because I'll wake up to have self-care time. It's me, Christ, me journaling, me reading my 10 pages a day of a book, and then it's blocked off and I take care of my daughter, drop her off, and then I'm to the gym, okay? And then after that, I'm coming home and I'm working on my one thing. And typically I always have at least one thing I need to get done for the crew book club, and then some priority for my real estate business. And if those things aren't done, my day is not over, okay? Even if they're small interruptions, okay? So those are the things you need to think about when time blocking your time off, your one thing, and planning your time. Now we're going to go over to page, where is it? Where did it go? Did I highlight that part? Oh yeah, here it is. On page 170. It says, the world doesn't know your purpose or priorities and isn't responsible for them. You are. So it's your job to protect your time blocks from all those who don't know what matters most to you, and from yourself when you forget. Woo. Y'all have to understand this statement. If you scheduled yourself to go to the gym at 10 a.m. and it's on your calendar and someone calls you, and and some people may fight me on this, and you might disagree. But if someone calls me, for real estate example, and they're a buyer or a seller, and they're like, listen, I can only meet at this time and this day. Okay, cool. You might reschedule if they say that. But before you even agree to it, don't hesitate to say, I already have an appointment scheduled for that time. Is it possible that we can do 12 o'clock on this day? Okay? Because think about it. What if they don't know that your gym appointment is not with whomever, but it should be yourself should be just as important as everybody else's time. Okay? They don't have to know your business. You don't have to disclose that. What you can say is, hey, I had that booked already with another appointment. Could we do this date? And if that person says no, if it's up to you, me, I'd be like, okay, well, what day works for you? And what is the issue? Is it really urgent? Because if it's not that urgent, it could wait. And trust me, the people who want to work with you will wait for you. A lot of times when I realize when it's a buyer that's calling me that's frantic and they need to be here and they're like, and they haven't done the proper steps, it's like, you're not even pre-approved. So why would I rework my whole entire schedule to take you to see a house if you haven't turned in all of your documents or done the proper steps? So it's like, okay, why is it so important to meet this day? What is it that we need to discuss? Because it possibly could just be an email. Seriously, y'all ever be on your meetings or have a Zoom and it's like, okay, this could have been an email? Right. So before you change your time block for your appointment for self, Don't hesitate to ask people to work around your schedule, okay? So yeah, because like this statement says, the world doesn't know your purpose or priorities and they aren't responsible for it. And then you say you reschedule, then you meet with the person like, oh, that was it. And then you're going to sleep realizing like you didn't meet the priority for yourself. And then now you mad at everybody else because you didn't fulfill your cup. I'm just saying, okay? So, and also for yourself, make the commitment to you, not just anybody else, but stick to the commitments that you make for yourself. All right? Okay. Darn it, we already 21 minutes in and I got like so much juice to give y'all. All right, chapter 16, the 3 commitments. First, you must adapt your mindset of someone seeking mastery. Page 178. This is chapter 16. Okay? As you progress along the path of mastery, both your self-confidence and your success competence will grow. Mastery is a pursuit that keeps giving because it's a path that never ends. You guys, there is no end to this. Whatever you're doing until you die, you're going to be constantly mastering. So get used to it, okay? It is what it is. Now, the second commitment is you most commonly seek the very best ways of doing things. Go from entrepreneurial to purpose. And the book is called Move from E to P. It says the path of mastering something is a combination of not only doing the best you can do it at, but it's also doing it the best it can be done. Ooh, big thing, being effective and efficient. Listen to this. Entrepreneurial, E, or purposeful, P. Entrepreneurial is our natural approach. It's seeking something we want to do or that needs to be done and racing off to do it with enthusiasm, energy, and natural ability. Okay? Now, listen to this. When it comes to bringing P to the same ceiling, looks a little different. The purposeful approach says, I'm still committed to growing, so what are my options? You then use the focusing question to narrow those choices down to the next thing you should do. It could be follow a new model, get a new system, or both. But be prepared, implementing these may require new thinking, new skills, and even new relationships. That's when you're taking it from entrepreneur, your natural abilities, to be more purposeful with your approach. Being purposeful is often about doing what comes unnaturally, but when you're committed to achieving extraordinary results, you simply do whatever it takes anyway. Okay? When you've done the best you can do, but at a certain results aren't the best, they can get out of E and into P. Look for better models and systems. Because we can start off with the entrepreneurial hype, our natural abilities to do these things, but how do I take that thing to the purposeful thing and grow? And so for me, I'm at this space where it's like, how can I scale from just podcasting to being in the space with the people and then growing and elevating? That's why we have the mastermind coming up in April, which you can purchase tickets to that, where we take what we learn from these books and apply it to our life, and being in an atmosphere where we can elevate ourselves, challenge ourselves, and grow. And I'll do just that. Ask the people who went to the mastermind before. You already know. And the women who attended the event, I'm going to put you on blast to get you to the next level in a good way, in a good loving way, to make you see the perspective of how we can break things down to accomplish our extraordinary results that is needed. Okay? The third thing of being committed, you must be willing to be held accountable for doing everything you can do to achieve your one thing. Okay? On page 184, it talks about that. Accountable people achieve results others only dream of. When life happens, you can be either the author of your life or the victim of it. Those are the only two choices, accountable or unaccountable. This may sound harsh, but it's true. Every day we choose one approach or the other, and the consequences follow us forever. It says taking complete ownership of your outcomes by holding no one but yourself responsible for them is the most powerful thing you can do to drive your success. Do you hear me? You have to be accountable for yourself, okay? The moment that you're choosing to not be accountable, and you're going to be stuck in the rut that you are in and that you're not satisfied in. So if anybody is going to be accountable, it needs to be to yourself. Okay? All right. So, and also having an accountability partner is major important, because this statement right here on page 187. It says, one of the most fastest ways to bring accountability to your life is to find an accountability partner. Accountability can come from a mentor, a peer, or a highest form as a coach. Whatever the case, it's critical that you acquire an accountability relationship and give your partner license to lay out the honest truth. An accountability partner, y'all, isn't a cheerleader. Although they can lift you up, an accountability partner provides frank, objective feedback on your performance, creates an ongoing expectation of productive progress, and can provide critical brainstorming or even expertise when needed. Listen, it's cool if your friend is your accountability partner. But if you feel some type of way when your friend check you, that's not the best accountability partner. Or if you're timid and you don't want to say something because it might make your friend mad at you because it doesn't need to be heard by you, then you need to switch up your accountability partner. Okay? You need someone that's going to challenge you, tell you the honest truth, and that's going to allow you to hear. You have to allow them to be able to give feedback without you being offended, okay? On page 187, it also mentions Dr. Gail Matthews researched individuals with written goals were 41% more likely to succeed, but there's more to the story. Individuals who wrote their goals and sent progress reports to friends were 77.6% more likely to achieve them. Listen, y'all. There's so much power in having an accountability partner. I have a few accountability meetings. One particular one is with real estate, and we meet every Monday. And I remember there was a point where we were struggling to just being in this one particular price point, and now we're all selling over. We're in that $500,000 price point. One of them have like completely taken off. But you talk about realtors in Florida who started off with like $200,000 homes. You know what I'm saying? So to see all of us grow in this space, to give each other feedback and to be accountable first to ourselves and to hold our other partners accountable, it's just phenomenal watching these things grow. And one of my accountability partners was like, I remember when I met you and you were just talking about having a podcast and talking about having a book club. And to see where you are at now is just amazing to see. And it's awesome to share the struggles and get the feedback from them and the honest truth. And it's just an amazing thing. And to know that you're 77.6 more likely to achieve your goals just by having an accountability partner, why not? Okay? And that's one of the things in the masterminds coming in April that I'm going to make y'all partner, because I see the power in it and I've experienced the power. And I told you guys, I don't tell you to do something that I haven't done. Okay? So that was chapters 15 and 16, Live for Productivity, and the 3 commitments that you need to do to get to the extraordinary results, okay? And if you come into the mastermind, I have activities out of this book that we're going to do to challenge ourselves to get to our extraordinary results, all right? Okay, so we have a few more minutes left in the episode. I want to hop in and give you the challenge of the week. And if you're not, but let's say this. Let's be proactive. Yes, if you're coming to the mastermind, it would be great if you already have an accountability partner and you guys come together. to get more skill set to add to your group, right? Now, if you don't want to do that now. That's your challenge this week, to find a partner to be accountable to. Okay, pick a date where you guys meet. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it can be a friend. Just set the expectations to say, hey, I need honest truth. Make an agreement and a commitment to each other to be honest, give honest feedback, and have good intentions with your accountability partner. Okay? And this is an opportunity to keep it real with yourself. Don't sell yourself short when finding and partnering with an accountability partner. We've been, you know, we've been holding back enough, okay? Aren't you tired of being where you're at? Right? So partner up with somebody who's sick and tired of being sick and tired too. So y'all can motivate and help each other be consistent and be accountable to your goals. Okay? All right. So that's your challenge of the week. Find an accountability partner and to sign up to come to the mastermind to get more skills and accountability from me to accomplish your goals. Okay? All right. Now let's get into some advice. You know, you guys can ask anything, literally. That's what the crew is about. And you can email the crewbookclub@gmail.com, or you can DM our Instagram at the Crew Book Club. Okay, so this was actually, I had posted in the stories and someone had put a question in the box. It said, when is it too soon to forgive? And I was like, well, that was very blanket and plain. But, because I don't know what you're trying to forgive. And it's so funny, like I typed in Google when to forgive, and everything was about forgiving your spouse when there's infidelity. And I'm like, oh, wow. So I don't know if that's what you were asking for forgiveness for. But I'm going to just give you a general synopsis. I feel like the sooner you forgive someone, the sooner you can heal and move forward. Forgiving someone is not necessarily about them all the time. Forgiving them doesn't mean that you just move on without having a conversation or setting boundaries, or just moving forward without them in your life is fine too. And to understand, we don't always need closure when forgiving someone, and they don't even need to be involved. Forgiving someone is about you. So take your pride, your pettiness, your revengefulness, let God handle that emotion of it. But the sooner you can forgive, the sooner you can move forward. And I really love the response that was given on peacewithgod.net. And it was saying, how do we forgive others? There are many paths to forgiveness, but nearly all of them include at least these 3 steps. It says, 1, recognize the importance Jesus put on for forgiveness. Okay, when he was teaching the disciples how to talk to God, he mentioned in his model prayer, forgive us our sins, we have forgiven those who sin against us. 2, reject the devil, let go of your anger. Don't give Satan a chance to use your bitterness, and don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry, for anger gives a foothold to the devil. Ephesians chapter 4, 26 through 27. Yeah, I'm going to give you scripture, okay? 3, remember God has forgiven you. Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. And I know you're probably like, girl, I want to hear that right now. I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm this, I'm that. And that's where you see how you're making it about you and how that turmoil is affecting you. That has nothing to do with the other person. So you can forgive immediately. Lean into Christ so he can guide you, like we talked about earlier, and let him handle the person who hurt you. But forgive for you to be able to move forward, okay? So that was what would the crew do. That's my recommendation on the question, when it's too soon to forgive. You can forgive immediately because it's about you, all right? Now, you know we can't end this episode without giving you the quote of the week. And I have two because I couldn't choose. The quote of the week, two of them. The first one comes from page 167. Efficiency is doing the thing right. Effectiveness is doing the right thing. I'm big on effective and efficiency. Okay. Page 181, it says, you can't put limits on what you'll do. You have to open. I am tongue-tied, okay? Page 181, you can't put limits on what you'll do. You have to be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things if you want breakthroughs in your life. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to have to do new things. If you want to grow and elevate, you're going to have to do new things, okay? It's no way around it, okay? Next week, we'll be finishing this book, chapter 17, The Fourth Thieves, in chapter 18, The Journey, and putting a closing to putting the one thing to work. And this book was so good. I hope you guys tune in next week to finish this out. And remember, go out and be effective and efficient in your life so you can elevate. Thanks for hanging with the Crew Book Club podcast, and I will holler at you guys next week. Hey.